And I'm honored to welcome and interview first ballot Hall of Famer JJ Watt. How's it going?
Good, man. How you doing?
Doing well. All right, so today we just want to discuss your career, your exciting life after football, and all that you're doing off the field, and plus your upcoming ad with Dick's Sporting Goods. How does that sound?
Great.
Awesome. So first, we just want to congratulate you on your on Koa's birthday this past week. I have to ask, which do you think you could do faster right now? Change a diaper or run a 40?
Change a diaper easily.
Okay,
Easily.
that's awesome. I was hoping so. I bet you've got plenty of experience in that right now.
I do. I have plenty.
Awesome. I know like you were famous for prioritizing sleep and going to bed early and making sure you got those hours in, as we also had Hard Knocks. So now that you're a father and like your sleep schedule is completely dependent on them, like how do you manage getting that sleep in?
It's gone. It's all completely gone. My sleep is very far down the list of priorities now. So it's taking care of Koa. He's up. I'm very fortunate. He sleeps very well through the night, thankfully. But he does get up sometime around 6 o'clock every day. So that means I'm up around 6 o'clock every day, which is not exactly how I pictured retired life going, but I love it. It's my favorite time because I wake up and just hang out with him, and there's nothing better than going into his room and seeing his big smile in the morning.
Yeah, that's like all you can ask for is just good sleep schedule, working through. Just you may be retired and you can have a sangria in one hand and Koa in the other.
Yeah, exactly. It's great.
So what's one good piece of advice for all the dads out there before the holiday season that you may have?
I'm just trying to enjoy it all. I think every single parent assumes every other parent is doing it right and we're doing it wrong. But I think everybody's just trying to do it the best they possibly can. Whether it's my brother, whether it's my buddies with kids or anybody, like we're all just trying to figure it out. So
amen to that.
The most important part is just to try and enjoy every second. And always remember that when they're asking you to do something and you may be tired or you may be not feeling like it, you are the most important person in their entire world. And that yes to them is the biggest thing, while the 30 seconds of sitting on the couch isn't that important. So always just try and do whatever you can to make them smile.
That's fantastic. Really like to hear that. Well, considering the holiday season's right around the corner, we're in November now. You've got an ad with Dick's Sporting Goods, and it's really exciting to see and been able to watch it. And I love the Home Alone references. But I wanted to ask, so how long have you been working with Dick's Sporting Goods, and what's it like shooting commercials?
I've been working with Dick's Sporting Goods for a few years now, and they've been incredible partners. I really, really enjoy working with them. It's so natural because I'm so naturally a fan of Dick's Sporting Goods. I mean, every single kid and athlete automatically is. I mean, you walk into that place and it's like Wonka's factory, but for sports. And so it's the best. And filming this commercial was great because it was my whole family. It was all of us together. We spent 2 nights in a Dick's Sporting Goods. And I mean, in between takes, while we're not filming, I was literally rollerblading around the store and I'm hitting baseballs and I'm, playing with the golf clubs. So it was as enjoyable as it could be. And I think everybody's going to have a lot of fun with it.
That's fantastic. So what product, whether at Dick's or not, hopefully at Dick's, would you like to have during your career when you were playing?
Oh, boy.
Can it be the Guardian cap?
That's a loaded question. I mean, they have a camping section in Dick's Sporting Goods, and there's like a hammock thing in there. That would have been real nice for the backyard for recovery, because the teams always took care of my equipment needs. Dick's has it all for the youth sports and for all the kids. But that hammock, that would have been nice in the backyard or in the locker room.
I would have liked to see Vince Wilfork get into a hammock. I would pay to see that. What take was the hardest for y'all to get right? Either as a family, because y'all just like couldn't get through it, or like someone was fumbling their lines?
In the beginning, definitely, you always have to get the jitters out at the beginning. In any scene where it's all of us, that's the toughest because, we're all together and we can make each other laugh, or we can, nobody else is allowed to make fun of us, but we can make fun of each other. So if somebody flubs a line, we're not going to let you get away with it. So the early in the night was always the longest and toughest moments.
That's awesome. So which family member do you think was more made for TV and like should have been on like either reality TV, like they were made for it?
Everybody has their own different quirks. Like TJ is, when he's in private and like in the locker room or hanging out with buddies in the basement or something, he is hilarious. He is funny, but he doesn't show that side publicly very much. So I don't know if he's necessarily made for it because he keeps it a little quieter. Derek is very sneakily funny. I don't think people have seen his true funny side, but he is very sneaky funny, and he's got some great lines. So I think each of us has our own characteristics that work well together, but it's always better when it's the three of us together because we kind of bring the best out of each other.
And I definitely think like that comes out in the ad. Like everyone will be able to see it, just like you know, kind of that lightheartedness, that goofiness, but also like that intensity of like we're here to play.
Yeah.
Like, we're each of our like different personalities. And I also think that comes out in the field, especially when y'all get a sack.
Yeah, of course.
So the ad makes reference to Home Alone and getting left inside the Dick's Sporting Goods store. Personally, when I was a kid, my parents called those Six Flags police, which is a real thing because I was hiding from them in the lazy river. Which of the brothers? Yeah, I know. I was rambunctious. Which of your brothers would you most likely to actually like accidentally get left behind in a
TJ for sure.
TJ, why is that?
Yeah. I don't know. It's this. I feel like he'd get caught up on something, or he'd be looking at something and just not even realize that everybody else moved on. Yeah, probably TJ.
That's awesome. Well, I love it. Love to hear that. So let's switch to the Texans really quickly. So I know you have a great time on Hard Knocks, and I know you look back on that really fondly. Can you tell just a good locker room story from the time with the Texans that may not have been shown on Hard Knocks or just any other season?
I mean, I have a billion locker room stories. I mean, I was there for 10 years, so I've got all sorts of different stories and everything. A lot of good times. I mean, I remember my first time walking into the locker room and seeing my locker next to Mario Williams and thinking that was really cool. You know, his former #1 draft pick, big, strong, incredible player. And for my locker to be next to his as a rookie, I always thought that was a really cool moment.
That's awesome. I want to ask, who do you think looked more badass? Either when you were with a bloody nose or Brian Cushing after the headbutt?
I'm giving it to him because he took his own helmet off and then headbutted somebody. So when you put the whole sequence together, his was pretty awesome.
That was one of the most defining moments. I think that moment really changed, in my opinion. Okay, like this is a gritty team. Like you can see that this team has a different energy. Like it was palpable. Every time.
It was a lot of fun, man. We had a blast. That was a great team to be a part of.
Yeah, it was great to just grow up and like watch that team come together, and like you got to see like incrementally under the Kubiak system, like every couple of years, like like we're going from 8-8, 8-8, 8-8, 9-7, and like it was enjoyable to watch that process.
It was fun.
If you could take one of those players from like in any era, either like when you first started to like when you were your last couple of years, and put them on this current Texans team, who do you think would would help out the most?
Kind of a loaded question at the moment.
I was about to say, I mean, like Chris Myers is a guy that I think would step in. I personally would love to see Vonta Leach. That just may be because I have a man crush on the way he played, but that's just me.
But I mean, like right now we have Diggs going down. I mean, I would love to see Andre out there. Obviously, you've got Nico as an ex coming back and kind of doing that job. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to go with Andre just with the Diggs injury and everything. You put Andre, Nico, and Tank out there, have a lot of fun. Obviously, I mean, at the moment, a couple offensive linemen would probably help as well, but I'm hoping these guys get it figured out.
Good. Well, let's switch to some of the off the field stuff. So right now you are you're doing stuff with Pat McAfee, and you're also a CBS analyst. What is it like going from the absolute chaos of being on with Pat McAfee to you're in a suit and tie, breaking down plays? Like, how do you go back and forth between the two?
It's the perfect mix because I get both. On Wednesdays I get to talk with Pat, and it's much more free flowing and open and locker room talk, and it's just like a bunch of guys hanging out talking ball. Sometimes not talking ball, sometimes talking anything. Yeah. And then on Sundays you get the more structured suit and tie, X's and O's talk. You talk, a little more proper, I would say, about the game. But it's perfect because I like that yin and yang. I don't think I would like one without the other. I do like the opportunity to have both of those things at the same time, and I really enjoy it. They're completely different platforms, and I get to showcase different things in each one.
Very cool. So I know you are Burnley is in a huge, they're knee deep in a race for promotion. The season just getting underway. I am a huge USMNT fan, by the way, and like I'll temper that. But it really feels like this is your passion project, right?
Yes, I love it. It's I had a hour and a half phone call this morning about it. It's just I love it. It fills the competitive juices that I don't get from playing, the adrenaline void. So watching the matches, talking about strategy, both on the pitch and off the pitch, and how we're going to construct the team, every transfer window, what our long-term vision is, how we're going to execute that today. All of it is, I really, really love it.
Do you think that promotion relegation would work for U.S. football?
Never, because of the business aspect of it. I think over here, obviously, there's just the way that the business works and the way it obviously works extremely well for the owners, for the leagues, for everything. I just don't see anybody ever voting to let that happen. But the excitement of it, the way that it just creates the most serious implications possible for sport at the highest level. It creates adrenaline and nerves like no other sport can. And I think it would be awesome. I just don't see any of the business minds ever letting it happen.
I don't think the SEC would ever let it happen, but I think the college football level, like, it makes sense. You get 60, 70 like universities all come together, and that way, you get those 5 and 6 teams who are playing for a bowl game, but also plan to stay in that.
That would be awesome.
I think it would be sick. Tell Pat that, because I want to hear it.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
It would be really fun, especially because like we're like the ACC is not in the Atlantic anymore. Like the Southeastern Conference isn't Southern anymore. Like it's Big 12 is big. So I think it could really work at this next level.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Well, I want to ask two last questions about Burnley. So how do you think, like, what is your plan with your integration into it for getting the Burnley brand to be, more involved in the U.S. sports mindset?
I mean, first things first is winning. I mean, winning helps everything. I mean, you can do as much marketing and branding as you want, but winning is the thing that will always bring more eyeballs to you. But beyond that, it's just literally getting the name, the logo, the history out there and letting people hear it. It's not something that's going to happen overnight where all of a sudden, in 6 months, everybody's going to say, oh, I know Burnley. I can't wait to watch a Burnley match. It's just repetition. It's just over and over, people seeing it, hearing it, talking about it on the streets. It's crazy to me when I go to the grocery store like after a match and people are like, hey, good win today, or like, I can't wait for the match tomorrow. And you're just like, it's crazy that I never even heard people discussing some Premier League games, much less championship games. And now here they are talking about Burnley. So little by little, it'll come, and it's just consistency and being the same person, being the same club, and just preaching what we're about, which is tough, hardworking, and have a lot of fun.
Yeah. I mean, what I was thinking is, we used to have Pac-12 After Dark, and it really allowed them to have their own time set. I feel like Burnley could, move that like noon, do it so that they get some games that you can get on during the U.S. hours. Because
we got those morning games, man. You just wake up on the weekend, you pour your cup of coffee, and you come enjoy your morning with us before the rest of the day gets started.
Hell yeah, yeah. I'm on the West Coast, so some of those 6:30 wake ups, even to watch like.
I've had some 4:30 I've had a 4:30. We had 4:30 a.m. games this year, so. Brutal. A lot of coffee on those days.
A lot of lattes. Yeah. Well, last question I want to ask is, I know you've been pushing for Luca Coglioscio to join the USMNT. Please keep going. I love to see him play. Is there any other players that you think that you really like that you would want to try to get for Burnley that are on the U.S. team?
I can't name any off the top of my head. I mean, I know right now, obviously, Luca is our main focus, being our player, and he's phenomenal. He's great. He's so fast. He's so quick, and he's so young. I mean, he wants to learn and grow and become better. So I'm really enjoying watching him, talking to him, and just seeing his process. But no, I can't think of any off the top of my head right now. But we're always looking.
Good. Yeah, I've got a couple names. If you ever need them, I've done my research.
Send them my way when you're done.
Twitter research.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, yeah, that was all the questions I had. I really appreciate it, and it's been an honor to watch you all on the field and watch you evolve off the field. Whether that be a father, whether that be in the advertising business, because that's what I'm in, and be really evolve in the ways that you have been like a hero to the city of Houston too.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it very much. I love it down there. Send everybody my best.
I will. All right, Eric. I'm